What's going on, people? And welcome to the LV Live Rant. My Monday morning rant that I'm gonna start doing. Discuss over the weekend's past events that transpired over the weekend. Also, too, please hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell icon, and so you can just start liking my page, I guess, and kind of supporting something I love doing. Also, too, I have my Blue Steel podcast I do weekly with my boy Jeff. Blue Steel Podcast Show on YouTube. We should have a webpage up pretty soon. But yeah, please support. Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell icon for that one as well. Blue Steel Show podcast. But this is my Monday morning rant. The LV Live Monday morning rant is what it's gonna be called. But the one thing I want to touch on is my USC Trojans and the big loss they had this weekend Saturday at the Farm in Stanford. And my question is that I have out there, is this the beginning of the end of Clay Helton and his staff? Once again, is this the beginning of the end for Clay Helton and his staff? All right, let me be clear. This is not a bash on Clay Helton as a person. I think he's a nice guy. He comes across as. I think he does well with the recruiting piece. Him and T. Martin, I think they do a great job. USC sells itself, but obviously they've been well with going inside and speaking with parents and speaking with the kids and selling that whole faith, family, and football, and it's got a lot of kids to the program. A lot of kids have stated that played a huge role in their recruiting and coming to USC. So let's give him, some check marks with that. But as far as preparation, as far as building skill sets, guys getting better, not just game after game, but year after year, he has dropped the ball big time. And it shows not when he goes against Colorado, not when he plays teams like Arizona and Arizona State. It shows when he plays against the elite of college football. It showed when he played Ohio State last year in the Cotton Bowl. Showed when he played Alabama in the kickoff, opening game in Dallas. It showed when he went on the road last year to Notre Dame and what they did and how bad they looked. Regardless, I get it. They had a lot of injuries that game and they was playing a lot of third-string guys. I get it, but to look how bad they looked. And then, I don't know, people. I don't know if you got, but I'm continuing to hear the same things over and over. Lack of execution. Lack of mental breakdowns. Guys not being in the right spot. Some guys being on the same page, some guys not. I can go, etc. But to me, that's them guys telling on themselves. Because if players aren't doing that, then that's a total breakdown of coaching. The reason why the first thing I said in regards to this was preparation is because, listen, people, I was a player. I played in high school and college. So I understand how this thing goes. And what I do know from playing my games, practice was hard, man. During the week, during the off season too, practice was hard. When you left practice, you was tired. Your body was just broken down. You were tired. And you know why you were tired? It wasn't what the coaches were doing. It was who you were going against. You were constantly competing in practice every day. You know why? Because you wanted to keep your spot. You didn't want to lose it. Because there was no guarantee that you was going to play on Saturday if you got outworked in practice and if someone seemed to have a better practice that week than you did, and you just didn't seem to want it. You know why? Because the coaches want to win. So they're going to put the best players out there regardless. And then also a big part, too, what I'm hearing from a lot of people who are at practice. I'm not at practice, but I'm hearing the same thing. There are guys that aren't practicing that are playing in the game. That can't happen. That can't happen. If you don't practice, you don't play. It's the oldest saying as far as sports go. If you don't practice, you don't play. Because how can you bring that same intensity if you have not worked all week to prepare for Saturday or Sunday or whenever your games are? So that's why you're going to have those issues. That's why they continue to have the issues that they're having. And to me, that shoots directly to Clay Helton and his staff. It's on them like a red dot. I'm just being honest. And this is not to take shots. Once again, I'll say this. Clay Helton seems like a great guy. But I'm sure you guys have heard this saying, nice guys finish last. And that's what's happening. And I don't care what the players say. I don't care. There's a reason why they dominate in Alabama. There's a reason why they dominate in Ohio State. There's a reason why now Clemson is taking over for being like one of the premier programs in college football, and now Georgia's on its way up. There's a reason why. You look at the head coach. Nick Saban is the top dog in that program. What he says goes. And he holds those coaches accountable if they're not doing what they need to be doing, if the team is looking a certain way. You see him on the sideline screaming at his assistants. You know why? Because he's saying, how the heck, how in the world are they not following? Why aren't they doing what they're doing? That means that when we're doing individuals, when we're breaking off into teams, when we're breaking off into O-line, works with O-line, and linebackers work with line, when we're breaking off, you're not doing what you need to be doing as a coach to get these guys prepped and ready and to be mentally tough. See, that's the thing. You got to have the mental fortitude, like the mental strength to be on point when game time comes. You have to be, but that starts in practice. Because you understand that I got to be at my best because there's another guy there who was also recruited to be a 5-star and for my position, right? So I have to show every week that, I don't want to get caught slipping. I want to be on point to where I show the coaches that this is my spot. I got this locked in. But every week I got to show that. Because here's the thing, people. That prepares you for the pros. And don't be gassed and thinking that these kids are just here just for school. No. No. They're there to win and to go to the league. And the reason why SC has always gotten the recruits is because they've been known for being an NFL factory as far as banging out those first-round draft picks from, guys like Willie McGinnis, of course, Sam Darnold last year, Reggie Bush, Lindell White, Marcus Allen. The list goes on and on and on. Tony Baselli. I mean, it goes on. So there's a reason why they want to go to SC. There's a reason why they want to go to Alabama. There's a reason why. So Clay Helton has no more excuses anymore. None. Here's a question I want you to think about, people. Here's a question I have. And this is going to be a key point, so please pay attention. If you take this team and you don't give this team to, no, not Nick Saban, that's too easy. You give it to someone who I think is right underneath Nick Saban. He's just the next tier underneath those guys, but he just hasn't had the talent, right? Those 5-star recruits. You give this team to Chris Peterson and his staff up in Washington. You give him the same exact team. With that talent, I guarantee you Washington would be in the college football playoff. And I guarantee you that Washington most likely would beat Auburn down in Georgia this past weekend. I guarantee you that. Excuse me, 2 weekends ago. So you can say what you want. It's not a matter of trying to take shots at people. It's not. It's just the facts, man. It's just the facts of what people see, and this is not something that people just saw just yesterday. Clay Helton wasn't a famous choice for a lot of people. This is not like a brand new thing. They were unsure of him, and the reason why they were unsure, not because he's not a nice guy, none of that. It's because they weren't sure that he had the skill set to get the most out of his players, and that's what you got to do when you coach. You got to be able to get this guy to not reach his potential, but to exceed his potential. Because that's what the great coaches do. They get those guys to squeeze out a little bit extra more of what they are to be the best that they can be to win games. And to win, of course, at the end of the day, is national championships. And to me, that's what SC is all about, is winning national championships. So, yeah, people talk about, Clay Helton's resume. Yeah, he won a, Pac-12 championship. Yeah, he won a Rose Bowl. But the crazy thing, people, is that at SC, that's expected. That's what they're supposed to do. If he was at Colorado, if he was at Arizona State, then it would be like a bigger deal that he won a Pac-12 championship and he won a Rose Bowl. Like, that would be huge. At SC, it's not. When you go into the practice facility in SC, you see on that wall, right there, like where they have the practice wall, you see all the conference championships. You see all the Rose Bowls. That's what they do. They do that in their sleep. They win Rose Bowls just because they feel like it. It's not that big of a deal at SC. What SC cares about is national championships and Heisman Trophy winners. That's what we do. That's it. So that's why the bar is so high. And that's why these losses are carrying more weight than the Rose Bowl and the Pac-12 championship. Because when you look at the Alabama and the Ohio States, that's who USC feels they should be in the same conversation. But you can't be in the same conversation if you're losing 17-3 to a Stanford team that's not even an A-level Stanford team. That's not even the same team that was last year or the year before. It's kind of like a couple of notches below that. And you're looking inept on offense, and so you can't do that at USC. You can't. Once again, he can get away with that if he was at one of them other programs I stated, but he can't do that at SC. He just can't. And that's why fans are upset. And that's why people are saying, once again, like I stated in the beginning of this rant, is this the beginning of the end for Clay Helton and his staff? And I think it's time that he holds guys accountable. Tell guys, listen, it's been 3 years. You haven't cut it. You haven't been cut. I don't care what our relationships are like. I don't care, because this is not personal. This is business. I don't care what that is. Our families may be great friends. I get it, but you're not cutting it. Because it's either I let you go or they let me go for not letting you go. That's kind of like what you're dealing with here. And I'm not going to say he doesn't get it, because I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he feels the walls closing in, because they are. The walls are closing in fast. Because what happens is you get exposed. And what has happened is his lack of preparation and the things that he has not done well have been exposed on Saturday. And it's been exposed in a bad way. A bad way. And what it also shows is how much Sam Darnold saved and covered up for a lot of those coaching mishaps. If Sam Darnold wasn't Sam Darnold, making a lot of those big plays that he did these last couple of years. Would Clay Helton even still have a job? I don't think so. I think he would have been gone. And we would be having a conversation this year about the new coach who started this year. That's the conversation we would be having if Sam Darnold wasn't pulling magic tricks every time you seen him, with the jump pass and with the throw he made at Penn, in Penn State in the Rose Bowl. If those things weren't happening, Clay Helton would be gone. He would be. So he better thank Sam Darnold for helping him get a little extra paper in his pocket, because Sam saved him and those coaches' jobs. He did. But what's happening is now you're starting to see who he is as a coach and who his coaching staff is. He's hiring guys that have no experience in certain positions, and you can't do that at SC. You just can't. You hired a quarterbacks coach, Brian Ellis. I mean, does he have any experience? You can't put these guys in positions if they don't have the experience, not at SC, because your job depends on it. You can't put T. Martin in that position if he's never done it before, because it's showing. So now their lack of experience and what they've done in practice is shown in the game, and now it falls back on you. Because these are your hires. These are the guys you picked. And the funny thing, people, is that we didn't even want to pick him. He wasn't even our first choice. People wanted Tom Herman. Remember that? And people were even saying why USC didn't even try to give a call to Chris Peterson. Remember that? He wasn't even our first choice. People was even considering hiring Ed Algeron. Remember that? Over him. So once again, is this the beginning of the end for Clay Helton and his staff? Because this is not what we expect at USC. It's just not. I know this pressure. But that's why you come here. That's why you coach at USC. Because in order to be in these programs like this, there's got to be pressure. But it's an exciting type of pressure because you're getting the players and you're excited about the opportunity that you have to possibly be on the big stage and play against these big-time games, against the big-time talent, because you want to show and prove that we belong in that conversation. Because the history and the tradition of USC shows it and proves it. But yeah, that's my rant for the day. So people, once again, please hit the like and subscribe button. Also hit that bell icon. This is the LV Live Rant. Once again, my Blue Steel Podcast show. Every week, me and my boy Jeff. Just look it up. It's on the Blue Steel Podcast show. Hit the like and subscribe button on that as well, please, and support, man. This is what we do. We love talking about sports, and on a Blue Steel show, we talk about different ranges of sports, and from boxing to the NFL, NBA, of course, college football. These are the things we discuss. But I just had to get on this rant because I was just so frustrated with this past weekend, and But please, if you like it, hit me up. If not, hit me up as well. And I totally appreciate you guys coming to my page and checking out my rant. All right, and that's pretty much it. I'm out. Everybody enjoy their Monday. I'm out of here. Peace.